Shut your mouth, broadcasting. First round draft pick. Believe we got stats, kid. Quarterback sacking, 100-yard dashing. So tap in for the action. What teams got traction? What teams are losing? Franchises ruined. Fans in the stand booing.
Welcome to the Sim Podcast Show. I'm your co-host Sirik, and I'm always joined by my co-host Ron. What up, Ron?
What's going on?
And you know what we do? We talk about the National Football League, and this is week 1. The season is finally here. Ron, how excited are you?
Oh, man, I was so excited yesterday. I was like a kid in like a candy store or something. I was like just, I had my TV ready. I had a beer in hand. I was sitting on the couch chilling. I'm excited, man. Real excited.
Finally, after 6 months of waiting, we're here. We got the games, and we're doing this recording Friday, a day late. But hey, it is what it is. We can't complain. But what's on the agenda for this show? We're going to have on the docket, we're going to have our over and unders. We're going to have NFL news. We're going to have our division predictions, the winners, the playoffs, the Super Bowl, and then we're going to do our week 1 predictions. So stay tuned, or maybe skip whatever you want to do. We're going to try to put this on YouTube so everybody can hear it, can see it. So without further ado, let's get started with the NFL news. And of course, we're going to talk about last night's game.
Great game.
You went with Detroit. I went with Kansas City. Why, Ron? What did you like about this Detroit?
Listen, man, last year was not a fluke. They got a lot of talent on their team. I love how they drafted the last couple years. And I'm more concerned about Kansas City, the weapons that they've lost, not having Kelsey play, Jones not under contract. I thought all the writing was on the wall. Everything was just like a perfect storm. And it was a good opportunity for Detroit to show everyone, what they're made of. Did you see how many fans, by the way, showed up? Detroit?
I did. Fans? I did see in the broadcast, they were like showing all the Lions fans. They were showing the Hutchinson family. It is true what our friend said. The sister had no idea what was going on. But, they were basically, it was what, 14-14?
Yeah,
or 14-21, right? The Chiefs got the ball back. Why do you think Reed decided to go for it on 4th and 25 when all game the receivers were dropping balls? I mean, Pony had a turnover. So what do you think? What was going through his head that he said, you know what? We can do it. We can make 4th 25.
Yeah,
That's not even a Brandon Staley play. That was just, I don't know. I can't figure it out.
I think his estimation is that he was going to get the ball either way, right? So do you take a chance and go for it there, right? And potentially get it? Or do you punt, have to play defense, and then get the ball back from there? So I don't mind the decision to go for it. The defense didn't come up with the stops that they needed after that. That was the problem, right? So if you're going to make the decision to go for it, then you have to hold them to like a field goal, get the ball back, go for a touchdown to win the game. Didn't turn out that way. I don't mind the call to go for it. They just weren't able to execute and stop Detroit. You got to give them credit too, right? When it mattered, they punched Kansas City in the mouth. They just ran the ball right down their throat. And Kansas City didn't have any answers on defense.
Yeah, to me, it was baffling because, I mean, it's not like the Kansas City Chiefs defense was horrible. They were up to par. I mean, yes, they were running the ball. Detroit was running the ball, but I was just like 4th and 25 because he could have punted, basically put Detroit deep in their own zone and their own end of the field, and then like hope the defense can stop them. But it was just weird. Like, I mean, those the time management, clock management there, Andy Reid, I don't know, he kind of dropped the ball on that one, but it's only game 1.
Right.
So, that doesn't mean that we're going to automatically disqualify the Chiefs.
Right.
but they did go down on my power ranking, and we'll get to that eventually. So let's go over the overs and unders for each division, and let's start with the NFC East. Ron, we only disagreed on one prediction, and that was the Washington Commanders, where I went under, you went over. The last couple of podcasts, you've been talking about how the Commanders are terrible. Ron Rivera is terrible.
Ron Rivera is terrible.
But why? Right. So what? So they have to fire him to go over, or what?
Well, so the spread, just to level set, it's only 6.5, right? Mm-hmm. So they just need to get to 7 wins to finish over. I think they'll get to 7 wins. Ron Rivera is not going to stop them from getting to 7 wins. I think they have a good defense. I think they have the quarterback of their future. We'll see. And they got some weapons on offense too. So they got a good enough schedule where they can get to 7 wins. So that's why I went over. I think they're going to be able to compete, with some of the lower teams fighting for a wild card spot. But I don't have them getting in.
I went under because when I look at the strength of schedule, they're 0.53. That's above where the expectation of the league average, I guess. I just don't see them winning 7 games at all, especially Ron Rivera. And Eric Bieniemy, I know he has, offensive mind, but he doesn't have the talent there. At least I don't think he does. So who, in your estimation, makes it out of this division in the playoffs?
We're going right there.
Yep.
Already. So I got the Eagles winning the division, as you do. And that's it. I think I got the Cowboys in as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Eagles win the division, and the Cowboys get a wild card, basically.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go into the NFC North, because here we just were all over the place. We did agree on the Bears at 7.5. They go under. The Packers, I think they're going to go over. You think they're going to go under. And I actually picked them to win the division. I know the Detroit Lions basically just shut everyone up last night. But why are you down on Green Bay?
Well, 7.5 is the spread. I see them finishing with 7 wins. I don't think they're going to have a terrible, terrible season. But, I think they'll get to 6 or 7 wins. I just don't see enough weapons, offensive weapons on the team. I think the quarterback will do fine. I think the running game will be okay. But, in this division, you got some tough competition, not just with Detroit, but the Vikings and Bears. And then there are...
Wait, you think the Bears are going to do well?
I think the Bears are going to...
You have them going under in a 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5 for a reason, right? So last year, I think it was 4.5, and they finished with 3. So the Bears are going to be improved this year. I don't have them getting to the playoffs or anything, but they're not going to be an easy out for anyone. So I just don't think that the Packers have enough to compete with the Vikings or the Lions.
Yeah, I actually disagree because I like Packers. I like the defense. I like the fact that they're having very, very easy schedule. I think if you play the Bears, you're going to beat them. The Vikings, we don't know if they're going to have a good defense. We don't know if they're going to have a good running back because the talent, I think they lost a lot of talent when they paid for that quarterback for Cousins. The Lions could be challenging because obviously they're a real team. And again, it's just the strength of schedule. It's 0.7487, and I feel strong about the Packers, and I also feel strong about Jordan Love. I think that he's had enough reps under Aaron to be a better quarterback.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I don't think they're going to lose because of him or struggle because of him. I just think they need to surround him with some additional weapons and stuff. Now you got the Packers, I see, winning the NFC North. That I can't, get down with at all. I just think, first of all, I got the Lions winning the division. But, you know, even if you discount the Lions, they don't make it. You still got the Vikings. They had 13 wins last year. It's just not going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah, but let's talk about the Vikings. All their wins came either the last second or like one play away from winning. And I don't think they're going to replicate that this year, especially with the Lions being this good. And the Packers, I think, are going to be good because they have an easy schedule. I just don't see them going 13-3 again. I just don't see that. I actually have the Vikings not even making the playoffs. That's how down I am on the whole Vikings, you know, except for Justin Jefferson. Who else can you trust in that team? That's why I just don't see it. Yeah, I just don't see it. So we definitely, the North is something to watch. NFC South is probably like the worst division in the NFC. So wait, before we move on to the NFC South, so who do you have coming out in the playoffs at this?
So I got Detroit winning it, and then Vikings as a wild card team.
Okay, so I got the Packers winning it, and then I have the Lions coming out as a wild card. Again, I just, you know, I told you last night, Dan Campbell, to me, I think he's a lot of hype. And the fact that he's, you know, at the beginning of the season, he wanted like a live lion in the sideline because he didn't think his team was like lively enough. I don't know, maybe now he has better players on his team and he doesn't need to do that. But the fact that he actually floated the idea of having a live animal on the sidelines, I don't know. I just can't see that.
Bill Cowher Jr., that's what I call him, man. I the chin and everything. I like him. I love his passion. I think people underestimate his intelligence. I love his aggressiveness in his play calling. You know, doing the fake punt yesterday, for example. He has a lot of confidence and faith in his team. And, you know, I think that goes a long way when you're a leader. I think that's going to continue, you know, throughout his career.
All the way through, yeah. I mean, I think they have a lot to show, and that Detroit Lions, that organization has a lot of years that they have to wash off, a lot of stink that they have to wash off. So before I get to the Dan Campbell bandwagon, I want to see him remove that stink first.
Gotcha.
NFC South, I don't know what else to say. I mean, you actually have the Saints going under. I have them over 9.5. But then you think the Bucks are going to win this division with Baker Mayfield?
Yeah. So, listen, they're going to protect the ball as much as they can, even with Baker. They're going to run the ball, and they still got weapons at the receiver position, right? It's not like they don't have the best receivers in that division. They do. So I think it's going to be enough. I think all of these teams, just like last year, are going to be right there with each other, right around 7, 8, 9 wins. And I think Tampa Bay, people are sleeping on them. The spread for them is 6.5. I got them going over. I think they'll get in as a division winner. But I think, you know, they may end up with like 8 or 9 wins. That's it.
Yeah, I think the Saints 9.5, and I have them probably winning 10 or maybe 11 games. Again, that NFC South, everyone has an easy schedule because they have to play each other twice. So everyone, it was under 4.453. The Saints are 0.4427. I mean, that is a phenomenal easy schedule. So
yeah, but to jump from 7 to, what do you say, 12 wins?
11 wins.
11 wins. That's not an easy ask. I don't care what your schedule is. That's not an easy
ask. I'm not a Derek Carr believer, but the fact that they have a good defense, Michael Thomas is not the number one guy anymore. Kirk Olave is the number one guy. I do see them. And even though Kamara is a fool for making a lot of stupid decisions, he's still a good football player. So I trust the Saints.
Yeah, he won't be there for the first 4 games, I think. So
that's fine. I think Dennis Allen prepared for that.
Yeah.
NFC West. This is we don't agree, and this is a dark horse with me. I went with the Seahawks winning the division. You went with the Niners. So you picked them to go over. I picked them to go under. and I actually went with the over with the Seahawks to the point where they're going to win the division. Who do you have coming out of this division?
So I got the 49ers. Spread was 10.5. They had 13 wins last year. And that's with 3 quarterbacks. Listen, they're going to get to 12 or 13 wins again this year. Just won't be week 1 against the Steelers. I'm not 100% sold on Purdy, but that defense is just way too good. They have too many weapons on offense not to get over 10.5 wins.
Yeah, I think this is tough. Probably my toughest ask as far as division winners. I think the Seahawks take it, but it's going to be very close. And I feel like they're going to feast on the Cardinals. They're going to feast on the Rams. And it all depends on who they had schedule is coming in out of the division. I didn't take a look at it, but I mean, just thinking about it, I'm like, the Seahawks under Pete Carroll, they have never had a losing season, kind of like Mike Tomlin.
Mm-hmm.
So what's not there to like? Gino's going to do Gino things. I don't think that he's being asked. He's not being hitting behind plays like they do with other quarterbacks.
Yeah, the question is it good enough to win the division? That's where I'm at with them.
Yeah, but they are making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So we have them making the playoffs.
So let's level set real quick. So for my division winners for the NFC, I got the Eagles winning the East, the Lions winning the North, Buccaneers winning the South, 49ers winning the West. And my wild card teams are the Seahawks, Vikings, and Cowboys.
Yeah, so we just disagree on we disagree on 3 division winners. I have the Packers winning the division, I have the Saints winning the division, and I have my dark horse, the Seahawks winning. So basically, we have the same teams, just different rankings for them. So yeah, we're definitely gonna see who comes out on top. Moving to the AFC East. Ron, here again, we have different division winners. I have the Bills winning the division. You have the Dolphins. Why do you like the Dolphins more than the Bills? So
let me talk about the over-under. So it's at 9.5 right now. I got them going over. I think they'll get to 11, 12 wins, and that'll be sufficient to win the division. I think the Bills are going to take a step back a little bit this year. I don't like the way they ended the season. They had 13 wins last year. I don't like the noise this offseason with the receiver. I don't like some of the losses they had with some of their players. I just think teams are going to start to catch up to them now. They realize it's Josh Allen or bust, and they're going to start to figure out how to slow him down a little bit as he gets deeper into the season.
Now you have the Jets over. I have them under, and it's 9.5. Do you think? So you think the Jets are going to overtake the Bills?
Well, no, not. Well, it depends, right? So it's 9.5. I got them over, so I think they'll get to 10 wins. The Bills over under was 10.5. I got them under, so I probably got them. I got them like right around 10 wins as well. I think the Jets are legit to threaten for a playoff position, but I think the Bills will hold them off. I just don't think it's the Bills' year to make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I have the Bills winning, and I actually have the Dolphins as a wild card. I don't think the Jets, and we already talked about the Patriots, they're not going to make the playoffs. The Jets, they don't make the playoffs because I think even though they have, I think, a top 5, maybe a top 10 defense, who knows, they're really good defense. I just don't feel like with Aaron Rodgers turning 40, it's going to be there. And I feel like with Tua, if I had to pick between 2 people who are like thinking about retirement already, one is because he's old and the other one is because he got hit many times. I want to go with the one that's thinking about retirement already. I feel like the Dolphins have a plan B, and I think the Jets are all in on Aaron Rodgers. If Wilson has to come in for any game, any type, I know that they've been on Hard Knocks, they've been talking about Wilson. Oh, he's a better pass protector or pass thrower, blah blah blah. He's still Wilson.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Even if Aaron Rodgers needs 2 weeks off, I don't trust Wilson.
Yeah, I don't trust any of the backup quarterbacks here for both teams, but it's about weapons, I think, and I trust the Dolphins' offensive weapons more than I trust the Jets' weapons. So I know the Jets they should have a good running game going, but I think the Dolphins are going to put up 27, 28 points every week if Tua stays healthy, and that'll propel them into the playoffs.
Yep. So let's go into AFC North because again, I actually changed my pick from when we did our Steelers review. I thought the Bengals were going to win this division, but the more I look at the Steelers, I actually picked the Steelers to win it.
Wow. Okay. So
they have 8.5. It's over and under. I think they go over. I think they don't have an easy schedule, but at least they're 0.470, I think is good enough. And I actually see the Steelers and the Ravens and the Bengals making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Ravens and Bengals get in there because of the wild card. I leaving out Cleveland Browns. I know people love them and their over and under is 9.5, which is high.
Mm-hmm.
It's really high. But I just don't see them making the transition. What do you have coming out?
Yeah, so this division is interesting. I think I got the same exact teams, but I got the Ravens winning the division with the Steelers and Bengals getting in on the wild card. And then the Browns being out. But interestingly, I can see the Browns beating the Bengals week 1 with Burrow, missing all that playing time in the preseason. So the Bengals, I think they are overvalued, 9.5. They were a 7-win team last year. I don't see them winning 3 more games to getting to 10 wins. I just don't see it. I think they're going to be on the outside looking in. I do think the Steelers are going to win more than 8.5 games. I'm surprised that the spread's still that low. I do think they'll get to like 10, 11, 12 wins, whatever I had said when we did our initial podcast.
I think 11, maybe 12 victories, and they win the division.
Nah, but I got the Ravens. I got the Ravens really like locking in and getting like 13 wins this season.
I just don't like the Ravens because since his MVP season, I haven't seen Lamar play a full season yet.
Yeah, health has to be, he has to have good health.
Yeah,
he has to be on the field for sure.
If he's not on the field, then you can't throw to Zay Flowers. You can't throw to Odell Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're riding on Lamar, and he hasn't shown to play all 17 games yet. So that's why I didn't pick him, because I was like, I want to see him, play the whole season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I have them as a wild card. AFC South, again, kind of like the NFC South. Terrible. Again, we disagree. I actually like the Titans. You like the Jaguars. So you like the Jaguars winning this division?
I do. And the over-under for them was 9.5. I went over. I think they'll get to the 10 plus wins. The Titans, 7.5 is the spread for them. They only won 7 last year. I have lost faith in Tannehill to be even average at this point of his career. That should be enough if he's average to get in the play, but I don't think he can even be average. I think at some point in the season they move on from him, and it'll be interesting to see who comes in as a second quarterback. I just don't have faith in them at all.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that the Jaguars are going to be dominant, but I think that the Jaguars are getting a lot of love from the media. 9-8. Yes, that's a good record, but are they going to repeat the 9-8 again? Trevor Lawrence, he has skill, but I want to see more. I want to see more Trevor Lawrence. And I know that he won a playoff game on the road, but it was the LA Chargers.
Yeah, they got Ridley now, too, so they got some more weapons. I wouldn't sleep on them at all.
Yeah, I just want to see. I'm not saying that they're out. Actually, did I pick them out? Yeah, I did. Actually, I did. Yeah, I have to look at that because I think that they do get in the playoffs. I just don't know if they win 10 games, basically, is what I'm saying. Let's go to the AFC West, excuse me. Really, Kansas City is a darling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though they lost last night, but we know that they lost because they didn't have Kelsey. But any of these teams scare you at all?
The Chargers can still, potentially make the playoffs. I have them on the outside looking in, looking at my predictions here, but the Chargers, they always seem to underperform, not perform up to their talent to me. So, I think the Chiefs will bounce back and win this division.
Yeah, I think any of these teams, do you think they go 14-3 like they did last year?
The Chiefs?
Yeah.
No, I don't see that happening, but I do see them winning the division with maybe 12 wins, 11 wins.
Yeah, I do see them winning the division with 12, 13 victories. I do see that they figure it out. I mean, they will figure it out.
Yeah.
Whether it's via trade or whether it's by, bring somebody from the practice squad, I think that they'll figure it out. I do trust Andy Reid has a plan. Okay, so who do you have winning overall and making the playoffs?
So my division winners: Dolphins, Ravens, Jaguars, Chiefs. And for the wild card teams, I have Bills, Steelers, and Bengals.
So I have for the division winners, I have the Bills, I have the Steelers, I have the Titans and the Chiefs, and then for the wild card, I have the Miami, I have the Ravens, the Bengals, and I think the Jaguars should be in the wild card hunt. So I might bring in the Jaguars and kick out. Sorry, no Dolphins for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
I hear you.
Yeah, because same thing with me is can we trust Tua?
Mm-hmm.
Can we trust Tua? And Keon White has Tua's number written all over it. And he's 300 pounds. I'm telling you, they're going to unleash Keon White on this dude. Okay. So that's our over and unders. Let's do it. We basically agree on everything. All right, Ron. So let's do our Super Bowl. And I think that we should have two Super Bowls. We should have a consensus and a dark horse Super Bowl picks. So who are your Super Bowl picks right now from the NFC?
So from the NFC, I got the Eagles getting back to the Super Bowl.
What about the AFC?
I got the Ravens. High on the Ravens this year. They're in our division. I'm hoping the Steelers can beat them, but I'm high on the Ravens. I got them getting the Super Bowl.
I got the Steelers. I got the Eagles making up the Super Bowl, and I got the Chiefs. So it's a rematch. It's gonna be a rematch of the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I think they both get in. I know this is not good for the ratings, but I think they both get in. Ron, who are your dark horse choices?
If I was going dark horse, I guess how dark horse do you mean?
I mean, they're a wild card team and they just got in.
Wild card. Okay. Yep. So I'm looking at my wild card selections. AFC is pretty easy. I got three really good ones: Bills, Steelers, Bengals. I'm going to go. I hate to be a homer, but I'm going to be a homer. I'm going to say the Steelers would be my dark horse from the wild card spot to get in.
The Steelers from the AFC, and who is from the NFC?
Yeah, looking at my wild card team. So I got Seahawks, Vikings, Cowboys. Oh man, I don't see any of these teams going. But if I was to choose one, I think Cowboys can potentially get there.
You think Jerry Jones? This is it. This is what I've been hoping for all my life since. When was the last time they won it? 1996, something like that.
I think if they are able to make a run, it's going to be because of the contributions from players like Parsons, and some of the guys on defense. I don't know if Dak is good enough to. He hasn't shown it, so that has me worried. And again, this is my dark horse, but I think the defense will be good enough for them to knock off some of these teams.
From a dark horse NFC, I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think the Lions. This is Dan Campbell's moment. This is where he, I saw a lot of videos last night about the Detroit locker room, and they're like, not the same Detroit. Okay, prove it.
Mm-hmm.
Prove it. Win some games. Get in the playoffs. Win some games. Let's prove it. Again, this is just my dark horse pick. And then for the AFC, I actually want to see the time. I want to see Mike Vrabel get in there. I have him pick as winning the division. It's nobody expects that. I want them to see that. I want them to be in the Super Bowl. They got a new stadium that's coming in a couple of years, maybe a year or two. I want to see them fill that stadium up. And let's go into, before we make our predictions, let's go into our top rankings. Ron, who are your top 5 teams for week 1?
All right. So I got the Eagles at number 1. I got the Chiefs at number 2. And let me level set. I'm talking week 1, assuming everyone is healthy, right? Chiefs are the second best team in the NFL. I got the Ravens number 3, the Lions number 4, the Dolphins number 5.
You think the Dolphins are number 5?
In terms of talent,
yeah,
absolutely. They potentially have the most explosive offense in the AFC. I think they can outscore the Chiefs. Why not?
Yeah. I got the Eagles. I got the Bills. I got the Bengals, even though, injuries are going to bother Joe Burrow. I have the Cowboys. I believe, and we were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. They won so many games. And then you look back, they've been winning 10 games consistently for the last couple of years. I really like them.
But you don't have them as your Super Bowl or dark horse.
No, because, again, I don't trust that. And then the Chiefs would have been number 1, but I moved them to number 5 because of last night. If they would have blown out Detroit, I'd be like, yep, that's my number 1 team. But they're still in the top 5, but I just moved them down below. So if we would have recorded this Wednesday night, they would have been number 1. But now I changed my mind. So let's go into our awards. Ron, who do you have as Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Well, I think everyone knows this by now if you've been listening to anything I've said this whole offseason. I have a man crush on Zay Flowers, Boston College alum. I think he wins Rookie of the Year. The dude's special, reminds me a lot of Antonio Brown. I think he's just going to be in that offense too. Now that they're going to be, passing a lot more, and they got Odell Beckham on the other side. I think Zay is going to get to like 70, 80 catches and win the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I do agree with you that he is special. I just don't like the fact that Lamar is throwing that to him. If Lamar can show me that he can throw and he can stay healthy, yes, Zay Flowers is going to get this. But I don't have that kind of, trust in Lamar as of right now. I don't. I went with Jordan Addison. I like Cousins throwing to him. I like the fact that Kevin O'Connell is the head coach. He's offensive minded. I think that he gets, even though Justin Jefferson is on the same team, I think he gets to 1,000, maybe even more than 1,000 Offensive Rookie of the Year. Ron, who do you have at Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Emmanuel Forbes, defensive back, Washington Commanders. One of the guys that I was hoping the Steelers would be able to get. We ended up with Joey Porter. I'm fine with that. I don't think he's going to have a chance to win. He's not starting. Emmanuel Forbes is a ball hawk cornerback, undersized. but the dude just knows how to make plays. Very aggressive. I can see him getting 5+ interceptions this season.
Yeah, I went with Christian Gonzalez. I think that he's going to be challenged in that division. You know, you got Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, you got Wilson from the Jets, you got who am I missing? I mean, this is going to be great representation. They're going to love playing man-to-man. Pats love playing man-to-man. He's going to be in the island by himself.
Against George Pickens. Ooh.
Well, that's further down the line. That's way further down the line. Who do you have as offensive player of the year, Ron?
Tyreek Hill. I had him last year too for my prediction. Who won it? Justin Jefferson won it last year. I got Tyreek Hill, assuming Tua stays healthy, and that is a big if. Tyreek Hill and Waddle, they're both dangerous weapons. They'll definitely both go over 1,000 yards. Does one, take away from the other potentially? But Tyreek is gonna win rookie, not rookie. He's gonna win offensive player of the year.
I got Nick Chubb, and I know that we just picked the Browns to not even make the playoffs, but I just couldn't. When I look at that offense and I look at, defending Watson and I look at Nick Chubb and I look at who Watson has as receivers, I think that's going to be a running offense. I think Watson's going to run the ball. I think that this is the only way that they beat teams is through the ground. I don't think they do it through the air. So I think Nick Chubb wins the award. Ron, who do you have as defensive player of the year?
Yeah, tough one here. I started to go with your pick as well, but I'm going Quentin Williams from the Jets. I think he's a great defensive player. He can be one of the top 5 defenders in the league. I can see him having a huge impact for the Jets defensively. I definitely see him getting double-digit sacks this season. And him against the run is just unbelievable. So I got him as my defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I went with Micah Parsons. I mean, this dude is a unicorn. Nick Bosa won it last year. I don't know why they picked Nick Bosa over Micah Parsons last year. Probably has better stats, but when you need a sack, who you trust this dude. When you need a playmaker, you trust this dude. And I think that this year he's going to get the award, even though the Cowboys, I have them not winning the division. I think they're going to get a wild card just because of Micah Parsons. We both agree with the comeback player of the year, Damar Hamlin. I mean, as soon as that dude steps on the field, he's going to win. He's going to win the award. I mean, what else is there to say? This guy was basically revived in the middle of the game. Yeah. This is a no-brainer, basically. Ron, who do you have as coach of the year?
Yeah, I struggled with this one a little bit. I ended up going with Mike Tomlin. Part of the reason I went with Tomlin, I know it's difficult for coaches who've had a history of success to ever win coach of the year, but for them to miss the playoffs last year, even though they had a winning record, to getting into the playoffs, and I got them making a little bit of a run in the playoffs, winning a playoff game, which they haven't done in several years. I think that'll be enough for him to win Coach of the Year.
I mean, at this point, he better. And when you say several years, let's be honest, it's been 8 years since the Steelers won a playoff game. If he wins it, if he wins the division like how I predicted it, and he gets in there and he gets a playoff win, I think he gets it. But I didn't go with Mike Tomlin. I went with Matt LaFleur because there's so much things that I like about the Packers. Easy schedule. Aaron Rodgers is not there anymore, so they are automatically writing them off. I think if he, just by winning that division alone, he gets Coach of the Year. Who, Ron, did you pick as the MVP?
I got the Ravens in the Super Bowl, and I got them there for a reason. That's because of Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to have a repeat MVP season where he's going to throw for a heck of a lot of yards and run for a heck of a lot of yards in this new offense. He's never been surrounded with this many weapons. And it's been a while since he's been healthy. Can he stay healthy full season? We'll see. But I think, for some reason, he's underrated as a quarterback in this league. He's a top 5 quarterback talent, period. Running, throwing, doesn't matter. He's someone any team would love to have. So I got him winning the MVP.
Yeah, I went with my last year pick, and he ended up winning Patrick Mahomes. Listen, yesterday's game, they didn't lose it because of Patrick Mahomes. No. He played exceptionally well. They lost it because the receivers kept dropping the ball. I just think that, hey, he plays injured. He played last year in 1 foot, and he won the Super Bowl. I just feel like that's what your MVP should be. There should be someone who you can trust, someone who even plays when they're injured, doesn't take any plays off. Again, this is the Tom Brady in the 20 years. He never got hurt. 1 year, I remember he got hurt. The Chiefs, that guy, Pollard, went on his knees, and they automatically changed the rules the next year. Like, no, you can't go on the dude's knees when the quarterback. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson would have been my second choice, but I just don't trust it.
Yeah.
I just don't trust him to play all 17 games. I know he got a big contract. I mean, a really big contract. He's getting paid.
Not as big as Burrow's contract.
Not as big as Burrow's, not as big as Justin Herbert, and neither one have won anything. Like, I know at least Joe Burrow's made it to the Super Bowl. I can't say the same about Herbert, and I can definitely not say the same about Lamar Jackson.
Lamar's won MVP. So,
yeah, not a Super Bowl though. So that's where it counts. And Joe Burrow will tell you, MVP is nice, but winning a Super Bowl is even nicer. So that's our awards for this year, 2023. Now, let's go into our Week 1 predictions. Finally, so Week 1, New England comes in. New England hosts Philadelphia. Ron, they're 4 points underdog. What did you 4-point favorite? Excuse me. What did you? What's your final score?
No, they're under. So Patriots are underdogs.
Oh,
Philly's favorite.
Philly's favorite. Excuse me.
So you're going to be at this game.
I'm going to be at this game.
Flying from Orlando
tomorrow morning. Yep.
You're going into New England to see them lose because I got Philly winning. I don't have them beating the spread, though. I got this actually being a close game. I got Philly winning 23-20. I think the Patriots defense is underrated. As they always are for whatever reason. They'll be able to get some stops. I don't think they have enough offensively, but I see Philly winning this 23-20.
I do. And you know what? Flying in to see your team, you're used to that.
Yeah.
Seeing them lose. So don't tell me I'm flying in for no reason. Obviously, I'm flying in because they're doing this whole ceremony for Tom Brady, and I didn't want to miss that. But I do see them losing 24-21. I think Jalen Hurts, he probably was my third MVP candidate behind Lamar and behind Patrick. This is just too much. Now, Philadelphia is not going to repeat what they did last year. I don't think any. Because they were dominant with capital D. I don't think the Patriots have enough to pull this one off, but I do see a close game. And 4 points, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot. So I do see them losing the game. San Francisco at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is actually an underdog at home by 2.5. Ron, what's your pick?
Yeah, I wrote down a big score here. 24-13, Pittsburgh winning. The more time that goes by, the more nervous I'm getting. And it's not because of Bosa playing or Kittle's playing or anything like that. I just got, that week 1 nerves because we're playing a damn good team. And Purdy doesn't scare me, like I said. Well, this is a damn good team. It's not going to be easy to put up points. No matter how good we looked offensively in the preseason, we're arguably going against the best defense in the league. So, but I got the Steelers winning 24-13. I'm going to stick to that. I just think, we're a healthy team. We're a hungry team, and we're playing at home.
Yeah, initially when we did the Steelers review, I actually had them losing this game, but I'm actually flipping. I think that the Steelers can pull this one off. No George Kittle. Nick Bosa, I guess, is going to play. Brock Purdy, I still want to see more. I feel like I haven't seen enough where I'm confident in saying that San Francisco is going to win this game, even though they have so much talent. So much talent that they don't need a QB, but we saw that when it comes to the championship game, they actually do need somebody to at least throw the ball, get the hand. So I have the Steelers winning this game 24-17, and it might even be closer than that. It might be like 21-24, but I do have the Steelers pulling this one off, and I think that this will carry them to like, hey, we just beat one of the best teams in the country. I think that this is going to be exceptional for them.
Yes.
Who is your upset special?
All right. So this was a tough one, as it always is. Our upset specials, we're looking at spreads at 3 points or higher.
Yep.
I'm not confident in this at all, but I got the Bucks, my division winners, going into Minnesota, 5.5 point underdogs, pulling off an upset, winning 24-23 against the Vikings.
Yeah, that's definitely an upset special. I mean, you got the Bucks, Baker Mayfield at Minnesota, where it gets loud. 5.5. That's definitely a special. I actually went with the Raiders playing the Broncos. I think the spread is 4.5. Let me just double check. 3.5. So it's right on the number that we asked. And I think that the Raiders can pull this one off. I think that Peyton and Wilson still haven't figured it out what they're going to do on offense. And I trust Jimmy G and Josh McDaniels to have a plan. I mean, they do have Devontae Adams, and the defense wasn't terribly bad, but I can see them winning this game. I have a 24-17. I don't even know if they score that many points. It might be lower than that. It might be like 17-13, but I do have the Raiders winning this one. Would you put money on your upset special?
Against that spread, I think I would, to be honest with you. 5.5 is a lot of points. Doesn't mean Tampa has to win, but I think Tampa would beat that spread. I got them winning the game, pulling off a complete upset. I'd put $50.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, I think I might actually go to a fake $100. I like the Raiders to at least not get Josh McDaniel fired this game. Because who knows with the Raiders? Who knows? The Davis family. Who knows? So that's our pick for the day. That's our special upset pick for week 1. Ron, do you wanna say anything to the people out there that are listening and watching?
Thanks so much for all of the support. I know you're just as excited as we are that football is here. Wish us luck. Wish the Steelers luck. Wish the Patriots luck. Wish your team luck, whatever team you vote for and you're a fan of. But thank you again for your support. We appreciate it. And let's all have a great season.
Yes, thank you. Thanks everybody for listening. We're up to 3,300 downloads, which is, for us is a lot. So we appreciate everyone listening in. We're going to continue to crank these out, especially when the NFL season starts. Other than that, I'm going to say peace.
Peace.
Hey guys, thanks again for listening and supporting us. You can find us at The Sim Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, or you can email us at shutympodcast@gmail.com.
Sim Podcast Show.